Hi guys, let's talk about The Lighthouse. I hadn't gotten a chance to see this movie yet. I wanted to, but I heard it was awesome. And I will not do spoilers, but I will kind of hint at it, little bits of it, so as not to ruin the thing, but just to give you kind of maybe my take on pros and cons of it. I've been seeing a lot of people say this is the movie of the year. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it is something incredibly interesting and very good. Boy, I guess I just ruined the video, but let's get into it a little bit. If you want to take in a movie that contains hip, fresh dialogue, tons of car chases, and sweet, colorful CGI, I recommend The Lighthouse. I'm being silly. It doesn't have any of those things in it, but I still recommend it. First off, any movie with this title should have really good lighting. So The Lighthouse is all black and white and absolutely nails it on the lighting score. It also nails the score. This looks and sounds unbelievable. The work with shadows and the meticulous way the shots are framed reminds me of freaking Citizen Kane or other technical masterpieces of that ilk. Almost every frame could be hung up in a gallery. High praise, I know, but that was my first impression. Maybe I'll change my mind. I probably won't, though, because I'm truculent. Obdurate, like an old rock. What about enjoyment and story? Question mark. Here's where it gets a little murkier. I was really yanked into it, but I think the average viewer might find it a little weird. The dialogue is so period and location specific, in this case around 1900, somewhere around New England. Each of the main characters go off on these high-flying soliloquies, invoking the names of gods and the forces of nature and powers from below and above. And sometimes it's disturbing. Sometimes it's hilarious. This movie, like the two characters, it's crazy town. There's some really cool imagery and allusions to the ancients, but this is ultimately a story about temptation and trying to assume too much power or control. Think Icarus or Prometheus or Adam and Eve, and you're heading down the right path. This is repeated over and over through the movie. So, like, this is the theme. Here's the thing you want, but don't touch it. Here's the thing you want, don't touch it. And then they end up touching it and then suffer the consequences. Pretty basic, but you can do that in a billion ways, and they find creative ways to do this. And they go from the incredibly numinous and mysterious to the smallest things like having a drink. Sometimes it is a challenge. Half the time I was in awe of the technical aspects, and half the time I was trying to figure out what was real. And the other half, I was just simply enjoying the characters. That's too many halves. I don't care. The acting was fantastic. Pattinson and Defoe are essentially the whole deal, and they give it everything. I sometimes think that acting is sort of a soft piece of work, but here you have to say they earned whatever they got paid. The commitment to the roles was like Daniel Day-Lewis-esque in There Will Be Blood or something like that. I won't give away much more, though. I'll step out and say this is probably not a movie you would put on to unwind after a stressful day of getting your butt kicked at work. I think cinema nerds will really like it, but whoever you are and however you feel about film, The Lighthouse is something you experience and sort of take on. Comes like loaded on your back and carry it with you. That makes it sound horrible, but, you know, there's good burdens. Ooh, good burdens. Do be warned, madness can be hard to watch, especially when displayed with such craft. And important to note that it's not all dour. Believe it or not, there's also some real moments of levity thrown in. I laughed at points, and then I felt bad for laughing, which is a weird thing in itself. Okay. So what? Does this sound weird and complicated and inexplicable? Absolutely. Screw it. The Lighthouse is something to see. It's the best way I could put it. Or you could watch Cats. Heard they redid that really well. Because the original thing is so awesome. Lighthouse, original and different. I say get after it. Cheers. Don't see Cats. See you after.